Have you ever felt that little nudge? You know, that quiet questioning about the work you do every day?
Oh, yeah.
We put so much of ourselves into our jobs, our careers,
Yeah.
whatever label we put on it.
So much time, so much energy.
And that search for work that actually feels, well, fulfilling. That lights you up. It feels pretty universal, right?
It absolutely does. It feels like a really fundamental human thing. Connects right to who we are, why we think we're here.
And that feeling, that yearning, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're working with excerpts from Laurence G. Boldt's book, How to Find the Work You Love.
Yeah, and our mission here really is to pull out the core ideas from this source to help you understand not just what fulfilling work even means today, but maybe how you could start that journey yourself, because it can be challenging.
But rewarding, hopefully.
Definitely rewarding.
And what makes this whole conversation feel so, I don't know, urgent right now,
Yeah.
is how much the world of work itself has just completely changed.
Oh, dramatically.
Not just recently, but if you look back across, like, all of human history,
Mhm.
understanding that backstory is actually pretty key to seeing the opportunity we have now.
That's a great point. The whole idea of having a choice about your work, the way we talk about it now, that's surprisingly new, historically speaking.
Let's trace that for a second,
Yeah.
because it really does put things in perspective. If you go way back, like hunter-gatherer times.
Right. In those societies, there was basically zero individual career choices. We'd recognize it.
Not at all.
Pretty much. Your work was all about immediate survival. What you did was often just set by your gender. The big questions weren't what's my passion, they were about the group.
Like, what do we need to do to eat?
Exactly. What do the men do? What do the women do? Work equals survival. Simple as that.
Okay. Then you get early civilizations, farming gets going.
Right. Agriculture becomes more settled, and that allows for a bit more specialization, beyond just finding food.
So you start seeing different roles.
Yeah, you start getting priests, maybe scribes, artisans, soldiers. A few more options exist, but who you were was still mostly decided by who your parents were.
So it's hereditary.
Very often, yeah. You did what your father did or your mother, an accident of birth. The key question was sort of, what's the family business? Little room for personal choice there.
Okay, fast forward again. Big leap. The industrial age arrives.
Huge changes. Cities growing, factories, machines. And this brings way more specialized jobs, but also, crucially, more social mobility starts to become possible.
Right, people could move up, potentially.
Yes, and here's the kicker. For millions, especially in those industrializing countries, career choice actually became a real option for the first time.
An option they didn't have before.
Exactly. Education started being a way to get into different kinds of work. And when you have options, you need
Guidance.
guidance.
Yeah.
So traditional vocational guidance pops up, and we can probably picture it, right? The whole test, match, place idea.
Take a test, see where you fit.
Yeah, and it was built on this assumption that the world of work was pretty stable, pretty fixed, and that you, the person, were also kind of fixed. Static interests, static skills.
Find the right slot for your shape.
Basically, where do I fit in based on what I'm good at and what I like? And, that model worked okay for a while, especially in times of predictable growth, like maybe post-World War II America.
A stable self for a stable world.
You got it. Find your pigeonhole.
But then, well, then came everything else. The information age. Globalization, computers, the internet.
And this just blew up those two assumptions. The one about a stable work environment, gone. And the one about a static self, that changed too.
How so? The work environment first.
Well, it became incredibly dynamic. Volatility, intense global competition, companies downsizing, job insecurity. That became the new normal for a lot of people.
Right. The old deal, like loyalty gets you security. That kind of faded.
It really did. And at the same time, the workers themselves were changing. People were getting more educated, maybe a bit more affluent in some places. They started wanting more than just a paycheck.
Meaning?
Purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning self-expression, using their full potential. Our idea of self shifted too. Less fixed, more dynamic, integrated. People wanted to bring their whole selves, passion, creativity, intelligence to their work.
Okay, so the world is changing, people are changing.
And you see this huge rise in what we might call creative work. Not just artists, but people solving complex problems, generating ideas, innovating.
The demand shifted.
It did, towards people who were creatively engaged.
Yeah.
So the model flips. It's not about fitting a static peg into a static hole anymore. It's this creative interplay between a dynamic person and a dynamic environment.
So the big takeaway from all this history, according to the source, is that real security today isn't about finding that one safe job and holding on for dear life. No, it seems not. It's more about knowing yourself deeply, your passions, your unique talents, and then having the creative ability to adapt those, to bring them into that constantly changing marketplace.
That's a big shift in thinking. Security comes from within, from your adaptability.
It really is.
Yeah.
And while, we absolutely have to acknowledge the massive inequalities that still exist globally, for many people, particularly in developed parts of the world, there's this unprecedented chance right now to actually find and do work they genuinely love.
The old questions don't quite fit.
Right. It's less, where do I sit? And more, what's my purpose? What am I naturally good at and passionate about?
Which leads us right into the core idea here. This new way of thinking about finding work you love. It's not about some external test giving you the answer.
Exactly. This approach turns inward. It's about using powerful questions, the right kind of questions, to help you connect with your own creative passion.
So it requires more from you.
Oh, definitely. It requires your commitment, your responsibility, your self-awareness. It's a journey you have to take. No test can tell you your unique passion. Only you can uncover that.
And the book stresses this isn't just about a job title or even a career path in the traditional sense.
No, it's deeper. It's about finding your creative passion, what the source calls the work you were born to do, your unique gift, the old idea of a vocation.
Okay, so how do you find this vocation? The book mentions 3 key decisions.
That's right, 3 big ones. First, decide what you're actually looking for. Define that creative passion for yourself.
Okay,
Second, decide you're going to keep looking until you find it. Persistence is key.
makes sense.
And third, decide when you found it. Recognize it and commit to it.
That first one, decide what you're looking for, sounds simple, but that feels like the real work, doesn't it?
It really is. It means shifting your focus, moving away from just, hoping things get better or complaining about what you don't like, and towards actively asking the kinds of questions that reveal what you genuinely want. Like Einstein supposedly said, sometimes framing the problem correctly is the hardest, most important part.
You have to know what you're aiming for.
Exactly. Define the target. And the book gives us a framework for this, a really helpful one. It uses the acronym ICE.
ISEE.
Yep. It stands for 4 key elements you find in truly fulfilling work: integrity, service, enjoyment, and excellence.
Okay.
And think of these less like steps in order and more like guiding principles, or maybe like antidotes to the doubts and fears that usually stop us.
I see. Integrity, service, enjoyment, excellence. Okay, let's break those down. Where do we start? Integrity. The book calls it the call of conscience.
Right. Integrity in this sense is about really listening to that quiet inner voice.
Yeah.
That gut feeling, that sense of, yes, this feels right, or no, this feels off.
Like your internal compass.
Exactly. When you tune into that, the book suggests you feel more aligned, like you're moving with life, not against it. And it's the total opposite of, selling out.
Selling out.
Yeah, giving up on your dreams or your values just for external stuff like money or what other people think, or even just feeling secure.
And the book talks about creative integrity, needing 2 things.
Yes. This is a lovely idea. It says you need to integrate the playful inner child with the wisdom of age.
Okay, inner child. Tell me more.
It's about reconnecting with what excited you, what you dreamed about before the world piled on all the shoulds and be practicals.
Before you got cynical.
Kind of.
Yeah.
What did you love doing just for fun? What injustices bothered you as a kid? What did you imagine changing in the world? That energy, that wonder, that pure playfulness. The source says that's vital. It mentions Carl Jung, like literally playing with blocks as an adult to tap back into his creativity.
Wow. So play is important.
It's a metaphor for your deep work, often.
Okay, so the inner child brings the passion. What about the wisdom of age? How does that fit?
That comes from facing reality, specifically the reality that life is finite. Thinking about death isn't meant to be depressing here. It's supposed to bring clarity. It gives you perspective. It helps you choose more consciously how you spend your time, which is limited. The book suggests this mental exercise. Imagine yourself at the very end of your life looking back.
Okay.
What accomplishments would matter most? What would you regret not doing, not trying? What message did your life convey? Thinking like that can cut through a lot of the daily noise and show you what's fundamentally important to you.
So you blend that childhood energy with this long-term perspective.
Yeah.
What else is part of integrity? Intuition.
Absolutely. Those hunches, those creative sparks that seem to come out of nowhere, acting on them is crucial. And the big part of that is fighting self-censorship.
That little voice saying, that's silly.
Exactly. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? The advice is, notice those inspirations you've ignored. Pick one. Just one. And figure out one small, concrete step you can take, like right now.
Why the small step?
It builds momentum. It shifts your focus from worrying about obstacles to actually creating what you want.
Okay, that makes sense. That leads us to the SNIC service, the call of compassion. This is about looking outward.
Precisely. Service to others isn't presented as like a nice add-on. It's fundamental. It's essential for meaning, for fulfilling your purpose. We're all part of this larger human community, right?
Yeah, you are.
And compassion, which literally means suffering with that feeling, helps you tune into the needs, but also the hopes and aspirations of the people around you. And paying attention often sparks ideas for how you can uniquely contribute.
And the book suggests serving others actually fuels your own growth.
Yeah, it provides really powerful, lasting motivation. When you're working on something bigger than just yourself, the source says you tap into hidden strengths. Dormant forces, faculties, and talents become alive.
So it's not a conflict, like my self-expression versus helping others.
The book argues that's a false dichotomy. Real meaning often comes from feeling like you're part of something larger. It quotes Tolstoy, "The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity."
That's a strong statement.
It is, and it points to things like heroism, self-sacrifice. These challenge the idea that humans are only self-interested. Compassion actually expands your sense of self. It connects you. Thinkers like Joseph Campbell, MLK Jr., Hippocrates, they all talked about this interconnectedness. We're all made of the same stuff, ultimately.
It's their dust, right?
Right. So your purpose, in this view, isn't just internal. It's your specific, unique way of responding to the needs and dreams of humanity.
Like the examples given, MLK fighting injustice, Einstein trying to understand the cosmos.
Mozart creating beauty, Luther Burbank breeding better food crops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And finding this purpose isn't just thinking about it. It's about noticing what stirs your heart, what creates energy and enthusiasm in you.
So feel it first, then figure out the how.
Listen to your heart to find the what, then use your head to plan the how. Ask yourself those deep questions. What problems really get to me? What suffering touches my heart? What hopes do I champion? What am I actually giving? What's my life's purpose? Okay, these are not small questions. Let's move to E, enjoyment, the call of talent. This sounds enjoyable.
It should be. And the book is emphatic. Joy isn't just nice to have, it's an absolute requirement for your life's work.
Where does the joy come from?
From expressing your natural talents. Emerson, quote in the source, "Everyone has a vocation, talent is the call."
And there's a difference between talents and skills.
Big difference, yes. Talents are the innate gifts, the things you naturally gravitate towards that feel almost effortless or just plain fun. Skills are learned through practice and effort.
So focus on strengths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Focus on developing your natural talents. That builds confidence, real ability, and that feeling of joy when you're using a talent that's like a signal you're on the right track. It's less about fixing your flaws, more about expressing your gifts.
Interesting shift from a lot of self-help stuff.
It is, and the book also argues that enjoyment, at least partly, is a choice. You can choose to find joy in the process, in the work itself, even when it's challenging. By distinguishing between necessary suffering, the struggle that comes with any real effort, or just life itself, the kind that helps you grow, and pointless suffering.
Pointless suffering.
Yeah, the kind that comes from your own negativity, bitterness, resistance, wishing things were different instead of working with what is.
That connects to another idea mentioned. Resourcefulness.
Creative resourcefulness, yeah. Using what you have available right now instead of fixating on what you think you lack. Like the examples of indigenous peoples using their immediate environment so cleverly.
Making shelters from snow, weaving watertight baskets.
Exactly. Focus on what you have, not what you don't. But, and this is key, talent needs discipline. The book says it's like 90% discipline.
Wow, 90%.
That's the figure used. It means silencing the excuses, the I don't feel like it, and just doing the work. As Seneca said, let him who would move the world first move himself.
So how do you actually connect with these talents, find the joy?
The source quotes Rumi. Everyone has been made for some particular work, and the desire for that work has been put in his or her heart. So, listen to your heart.
Practically speaking.
Make a list. Seriously, what do you truly love doing? Just list it out. Then this is crucial schedule time to actually do some of those things. Make appointments with yourself.
Treat it like real work.
Yes. And as you're doing them, ask, Could I somehow make a living related to this? The love for the activity, that desire in your heart, that's what unlocks the talent.
Okay. Integrity, service, enjoyment. That leaves the final E, excellence. The call to greatness. Sounds intimidating.
It can sound that way, but the book frames it differently. It's not about being famous or better than everyone else. It's about an inner drive we all have to do our best, to reach our potential, to do excellent work, maybe even great work, in our own way.
And achieving that requires high expectations.
High expectations of yourself. Not arrogance, but belief in your potential. The source argues pretty strongly that our expectations basically set the ceiling for what we can achieve. Low expectations are a huge self-inflicted barrier.
Okay, so if I have low expectations, how do I raise them?
Nurture your mind. Feed it great thoughts, as Napoleon Hill apparently advised. Study the lives of people who achieved great things in fields you admire. The mastermind idea. See their struggles, see their humanity, see their perseverance.
You realize they were people, too.
Exactly. And fundamentally accept responsibility for your life, your choices, your potential.
And who you hang out with matters.
Critically important. The source warns about soft enemies or enablers. People who might seem nice, but who actually reinforce your limitations or discourage big dreams.
Ouch. Soft enemies.
Yeah. You need people, friends, mentors, colleagues, who genuinely see your potential, who lift you up, who challenge you to grow. Believing in someone can be incredibly powerful. There's an example of an agorophobic client who started healing just because someone believed she could contribute.
Believing in others unlocks potential. What about believing in yourself?
Expect yourself to do well. Not in an entitled way, but as a matter of course. Think tortoise, not hair steady effort, persistence. Learn from mistakes, absolutely they'll happen, but don't let them define you or lower your core expectations.
Keep expectations realistic, though.
Appropriate, yeah. Align with where you are now, your talents, your experience. They should pull you forward, not crush you.
Now, here's a weird one the source brought up. Jealousy. That's helpful.
Yeah, it sounds wrong, doesn't it? But it clarifies. Jealousy of accomplishments, things people achieved through effort, not jealousy of their innate gifts or lucky breaks.
So if I envy what someone built.
That envy, the book suggests, might be a clue, a key unlocking your own hidden desires. It can motivate you to say, hey, they did that through hard work. Maybe I can put in the effort to create something meaningful too.
So ask myself whose accomplishments I admire.
Or envy, yeah. What specific things did they do? Create, achieve, and then how can I take steps toward creating something similar in my own way?
And underneath all this excellent stuff is just sticking with it.
Dedication and perseverance, absolutely. It's the ultimate test. Learning from rejection, not giving up when it gets tough.
Like Samuel Johnson said, joy follows hopeful effort.
Right. Or Churchill, don't wait for destiny, go meet it. You commit to the work. There's a powerful quote about Mother Teresa, knowing you found your calling if you feel deep joy, even amid great difficulty. That inner joy, that's the real guide.
Okay, so we've gone through IC, uncovering the inner direction, integrity, service, enjoyment, excellence. But knowing isn't doing right. How do you make it real?
And that's the crucial next step, what the book calls social coordination. Finding your path is internal, but giving it form in the world, especially our modern money economy, that's external. Meaning you have to think about marketing, about how society is structured, careers, organizations. You need to find or create a context, a field, a structure where you can actually do the work aligned with your purpose and talents.
So practical research time.
Lots of it. Investigate potential fields thoroughly. Don't just read job descriptions. Talk to people who are actually doing that work. Get the real story.
And you don't always need to go back to school for years.
Not necessarily. Be resourceful about qualifications. Look for ways to get credit for existing experience. Maybe start part-time, volunteer, do an internship, prove yourself through action. Think of Buckminster Fuller, Einstein. They found ways outside the usual tracks initially.
And the book really pushes starting ASAP.
Yes. Start doing the work you love as soon as you possibly can, even if it's unpaid at first, even if it's just an hour a week.
Like Einstein at the patent office, Wright brothers in the bike shop, Apple in the garage.
Those are the classic examples. Claim that identity now. If you want to be a writer but work retail, see yourself as a writer supporting yourself temporarily. And write. Make it a priority.
And we all need marketing skills now.
In a sense, yeah. Because the source argues we're all effectively self-employed today, managing our own careers, our own adaptability. So knowing how to communicate your value, basic sales sense, job hunting skills, maybe entrepreneurial skills, these are vital. and learnable.
And perseverance comes up again here. Big time.
It's where the rubber really meets the road. Handling rejection, staying the course when things get difficult, that's social coordination in action.
Okay, what else? Lifelong learning.
Essential. Not just to stay relevant in a fast-changing economy, which is true, but the book says it's key for personal growth, for staying alive and engaged, for happiness.
And embracing change.
You have to. The changes you choose and the ones life throws at you, being adaptable, resilient, that's crucial for success and well-being in a world that's always shifting.
So it really sounds like finding and doing work you love is this blend. You need the big vision, the imagination, the connection to your inner self.
Definitely. That's the I see part.
But you also need the practicality, the discipline, the willingness to deal with the details and make it happen in the real world.
Exactly. It's a journey that starts deep inside, but absolutely has to find expression through tangible action and contribution out there.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, from how work has changed over centuries to this inward-looking paradigm for finding your passion using IC, integrity, service, enjoyment, excellence.
And then the practical steps, the social coordination needed to actually bring that work into the world.
The core message seems pretty clear. Finding work you love isn't some magic billet. It's a quest, a process you commit to.
But a possible one. More possible for many today than ever before, even with all the challenges. And the potential payoff, real meaning, vitality, joy, purpose, seems like it makes the whole quest worthwhile.
So here's something to think about. If finding the work you love is really about sharing your unique gifts to meet the needs of the world, what gift is the world waiting for you to finally uncover and share?